Hi, and welcome back to Curious by Nature, the Gus podcast. I'm Gretchen Forsyth, head of school at Glen Urquhart School. Today, I'm joined by someone who has been part of the Glen Urquhart School community for many years and whose impact reaches far beyond our campus. David Coffin is a musician, educator, and storyteller, best known for bringing sea shanties and maritime history to life for our fourth graders each year. But his story begins much earlier, with the childhood encounter that sparked a lifelong love of music and a career that has taken him from concert stages to classrooms to unexpectedly viral fame during the pandemic. In this conversation, David reflects on the power of music as a way to tell stories, connect generations, and engage young learners. He also shares what drew his family to Gus and what kept them here, and why he continues to return year after year. It's a conversation about passion, tradition, and the joy of learning. Let's get started with my friend, David Coffin. Start from the beginning, because I really love the story. Will you tell me how you got into music and how music became a part of your life?
So I call this the story of Grace.
Yep.
Grace Feldman was a woman, still is, who was a Yale graduate student in music. And the graduate school in music was right up the street from our house. We lived in the chaplain's house because my dad was the chaplain at Yale. So she was a student there, and to get to her teaching assistant job at the neighborhood music school, she had to go past our house. And we had this little chicken wire fence between our house and the sidewalk, which was about the only thing that could contain us. My brother and sister and I, we were like 3, 4, and 5. And she would put these little drawings on these little, they were like Post-it note size pieces of paper, little drawings through the chicken wire of animals playing instruments, because, that's what they do. So the two I remember the best is the owl on ice skates playing the flute, because feathers and wings and all off to the side. But my favorite one was the snail. It wasn't doing anything, but the shell of the snail became a French horn. It doesn't take much to imagine that. And it was stunning. I still have it. And, we show these drawings to our parents, and they said, invite her in. And we invited her in, probably for tea or whatever. And then she became our babysitter. And then she moved into our house and literally became our live-in Mary Poppins, minus the umbrella. And she taught us all how to play the recorder, because that was one of her instruments. She also played the viola da gamba, early cello. But you don't do that to children at that age. So recorder was the way to go. And we all played, and I stuck with it. When she eventually moved out after a couple of years, I went to the neighborhood music school to take lessons with her. And I've been playing ever since. So I've been playing the recorder since I was about 3 or 4 years old. And 62 years later now, she still teaches at the neighborhood music school. And we have lunch once a year, every year.
I love that.
I go down and see her.
Really?
She's amazing.
Inspired at a young age.
Yeah.
And never let go.
Never let go.
No.
And as a result of that, pretty much everything I do is like 1 degree of separation from the recorder.
Yes.
Playing the recorder, I learned off the Revels record, the Abbott's Bromley, this beautiful haunting recorder tune, which you can't play anywhere other than in Revels. It doesn't fit. Can't put it on a concert program or something. That'd be dumb. So Revels it was. So I sent a letter to Revels, the director and founder, Jack Langstaff, and said, I'm this hotshot recorder player, 19 years old, of course, and I want to play the Abbott's Bromley. And that was when I was, so my 20 was my first Revels, and I'm now 66, and I've never missed a year. So 47 years.
Meant to be.
Of Revels, and I've, grown through the ranks, so to speak, and I took over for Jack when he got sick. So now I'm the song leader, and people mistakenly think I invented the thing, which I didn't.
And that's what I was sharing, that we here have to make sure that when we do Shortest Day, similar to the Revels, that the Welcome Yule is said with the David Coffin energy that you would expect in performance.
You got to do it.
Got to do it.
You got to do it.
Like a tradition started by Raymond Nance.
Yep. And I remember listening to him do it too, which was so entertaining for me, because he would do it, it was a short day,
Yep.
not on the shortest day,
Yep.
but it was, early dismissal. And I was here to pick up Linnea
Yep.
from school, and I'd come for the program and listen to him recite it and correct him and say, no, that's not, you gotta do it right. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right.
Yeah.
But always with that Southern accent that I just loved.
Yes. It's the best. It's very captivating.
And the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow white world.
Yeah, you do a very good imitation of him.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. Yeah, so great. He'll appreciate the shout out. Tell me about the other instrument and how that began.
Concertina. So the concertina, a little squeeze box. Never call it an accordion. But the concertina came about for me when I was in my mid-20s, and I'm casting around for an instrument that I can accompany my singing with, because I've always been a singer.
Yep.
Not a trained singer, but a singer. And I didn't want to play the guitar. Everyone plays the guitar. I'm not big a fan of the banjo. Sorry, banjo players. And mandolin was too small. Ukulele wasn't what it is today, the most popular thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came upon a concertina in a music store, and I thought, well, if I can make some progress on this instrument, because I'm not going to take lessons. I lack that discipline. I'll practice, but I'm not going to study. So if I can make progress in half an hour, that was the goal. And if I can do that, then this will be my instrument. So I figured it out, made some progress, still figuring it out, making more progress all these years later, but it became my instrument of choice. And once I had it, went out and found a good one, because I knew I needed a good one. And because you rise to the instrument. If you have a really good instrument, you rise to its level. And that was my goal. So started to look into what kind of music is played on the concertina. Well, two things popped right up. British parlor songs. No.
That would be harder to teach here.
Well, teaching here wasn't the goal just yet. But then the other thing was, the maritime music.
Yes.
And so that opened the doors to all the maritime music, sea shanties, whaling songs, and all that maritime history. And through doing the research and learning songs and all that, I discovered that we used to own Nantucket. Excuse me. No, we don't own any property out there, but we used to own the whole bloody island. 1659, 30 pounds, 2 beaver hats, the island's yours. Deal was done.
Deal was done. Wow.
So, not dinner time conversation in our house. So that's how I learned it, was through songs, which was great, because I tell kids, listen to the words of these old songs. They tell stories. Talk to your grandparents. Tell me some stories about your childhood. Talk to me about your history. Because, books is one thing. You'll always end up with the book, but you don't have to start with the books. So get in.
And how did your Linnea's fourth grade experience and the theme of the sea, how did that connect with your learning of the sea shanties and this maritime history?
Well, I had that before she was in fourth grade.
Yeah.
So I brought that to the school, saying, well, if you're studying the sea as a theme, what a great attraction for my kid, because she's well versed in all the music at this point. Little fourth grader that she is, she knows all the songs, and so it was a good connection. And I offered the classroom, if you want me to come in and do this whaling program that I've got, I'd love to do it. So I think that. I don't know if that was the first time I did it, fourth grade. I think I may have done it for some of the younger grades.
Come in as like an assembly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also did my recorder program here. I remember that was very early on, because Jack Langstaff came to the school to watch the program and gave me copious notes, which was fabulous. I mean, you can't get performance notes from a better source than Jack Langstaff, who did school programs and worked in schools and worked with teachers on how to teach music and connect with kids. So he was a great mentor and resource. But he came to the school to watch in Braemar.
Yeah.
And so that had to be really early on in my school performance program career, like 2000.
Yeah.
Because that's when I started doing that.
Can you tell me a little bit about the program you do here at Gus with our fourth graders? And add in there how you went to Mystic when Linnea was in fourth grade.
So fourth grade studies the sea as a theme, as you know.
Yeah.
And so in March or early April, beginning of the spring time, I would come in and do the whaling program just to sort of get kids jazzed up about whaling and studying all that as a theme and sea shanties and stuff like that, and then preparing them for their trip to Mystic, where they spend 3 days. What an amazing program that is. And, there's a lottery for the parents to go as
Still is. Still very coveted.
I'm sure it is. And I put my name in the hat, and I did not win, but I said, I'm going anyway. And Linnea was like mortified. Typical. That's my dad.
Yep.
And so I went as research because, I do school programs. I wanted to see how Mystic did it, what programming they did, how were they interacting with the kids, seeing other people do what I do, because you don't get to do that. I don't get to see other performers in schools. So I went as research and photographer. And of course, I had to drive myself. I wasn't allowed on the bus. I wasn't allowed to sleep on the leaky old boat with the kids. Oh, what a shame. So I had to stay in a hotel. But, I was there for the weekend, and it was a great experience. And watching the kids do all this stuff is just
climbing the rigging and
climbing
throwing the
the
harpoon.
rigging and throwing the harpoon. They're still doing that. I got to throw the harpoon, and I bring a harpoon. I promise not to throw it, but
yes,
I always ask the kids, I need a volunteer to be the whale. I'm standing there with a harpoon. I've described the whole, hunting and the harpooning and the trying out of the whale. Now I need a volunteer to be the whale, and every hand goes up.
They seem to have missed one of the key points.
They did. They didn't believe me at the very beginning when I said, sailors are not very bright. That's why shanties are so easy to sing. They have to be easy and accessible. Now, every kid raises their hand and said, look, I'm not allowed to throw this at you. Okay, so you can put your hands down.
Our students get very into the sea shanties.
Oh, absolutely. They were singing along with me now.
Yes.
I sing Holloway
sing
Joe.
along forever.
That's one of my favorite shanties because it's fun and it's easy. They were singing along. They already knew it. Yeah. Eyes the by the bills the boat. They already knew.
My daughter Charlotte went to Mystic because Libby missed it because of COVID, but Charlotte got to go and I got to go with them. And they sang the sea shanties everywhere they went. And people thought they were like an act, like part of the program. But it was just that they were so enthusiastic and so ready for songs and tales of the sea when they got home.
We could do kids.
Yes. I think Charlotte's class was the first class, maybe the class the year before was the first class to do it out on the play structure instead of the
in
the gym.
Right? So much better.
So much fun. Feels like a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of one of those COVID things that turned out better than.
Yep.
Great. But during COVID, you became pretty famous for your sea shanties.
TikTok. But I was on YouTube, but it wasn't my video.
Yeah.
It was a video of me.
Yeah.
But I didn't post it.
Oh,
and I didn't know it was posted.
Interesting.
So this was the closing shanty jam, as it were, of the Portsmouth Maritime Festival, Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And the end of the festival, it's a 3-day festival, 3:00 Sunday afternoon, we all go out to Market Square and all the performers are in a circle and anyone else who wants to join in.
Yeah.
And one by one, you just step out and lead a shanty.
Yeah.
And I stepped out and I led Roll the Old Chariot. And because that was one of my favorite shanties.
Yeah.
And that version seemed to take off on YouTube that somebody had videoed and posted.
Yeah.
And this was 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Linnea found it in 2015.
Wow.
And it was, gaining a lot of views and comments. And she started reading through the comments and we were on the floor. I swear we were on the floor. One of them will be on my tombstone, but I can't tell you what it is. But it's inappropriate to say it out loud. So if you want to sift through the hundreds of comments and find out which one, you can ask me and I'll tell you if you're there or not.
Yeah.
And then when the pandemic hit, shanties hit TikTok in a very specific way.
Yeah.
It was 2021, so we're a year in.
Yeah.
Everyone's sequestered in their homes, locked down, the whole bit. And TikTok is becoming more and more a way of connecting.
Yep.
Because you can duet. You can do things with other videos.
Yeah.
You don't need permission. You don't need to be having any talent. You can just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the good ones take off.
Yeah.
Well, Scottish postal worker Nathan Evans posted a sea shanty called The Wellerman. It is not a sea shanty.
Oh.
But if you call it a sea shanty because you're ill-informed, then you've now taught the world this is a sea shanty. So
Yeah.
now I have a goal, which is to undo
Yeah.
that little piece of miseducation.
Yeah.
And every time I bring it up, I say, this is not a sea shanty. It's a ballad. I went
Yep.
through it this morning with these kids today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were all singing along on the chorus.
Yeah.
And I said, how many people think it's a sea shanty? And every hand went up. And I said, hate to break it to you. It's a ballad.
Yeah.
Written in 1862 about the Weller brothers. But that song put sea shanties back on the map
Yeah.
for a whole new generation of
Yeah.
people, which I love. And I've
Yeah.
thanked Nathan Evans for that,
Yeah.
even though he was ill-informed. And because that's not
Yeah.
his thing. He's a
Right.
singer-songwriter. Why should he know? But, it became this viral sensation. You couldn't get away from that song
Yeah.
for a solid week in January of 21. It was everywhere. It was on the news.
I was like, I remember you being on the morning talk shows.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And my whole way of reaching me, email, text, phone, whatever, blowing up. Nathan Evans, Wellerman, TikTok, Wellerman, TikTok, Nathan Evans. And then I got an email from the New York Times. They wanted to do an interview.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly what they'd done.
Yep.
They'd gone to YouTube and looked up sea shanty.
Yep.
And they found Roll the Old Chariot.
Yeah.
Because at that time,
that.
Roll the Old Chariot had now 5 million views.
Yeah.
Which is insane
Yep.
for a sea shanty. I call it the cat video of sea shanties.
Yeah.
Now it's nothing. Wellerman has upwards of 100 million. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Love it. Yeah.
I love it. And so I knew they would want to talk about sea shanties. Fine, I can
Yep.
do that. TikTok, no idea. No clue.
Yeah.
So as a self-respecting parent, I
Yeah.
called Lene.
Right.
Walk me through this.
Yeah.
What is TikTok? How does it work? And we set up an account. She explained to me how it worked. Not that she was, solid on it,
Yeah,
but she
good.
knew more than I did. And I posted my first song, Blow the Man Down,
Yep.
because that was the movie I was in. And that's
Yes.
the title of the sea shanty.
Yeah.
And I posted it. And I know you're supposed to write Duet Me.
Yep.
Which I did.
Yep.
What I didn't know is that you can move the text. So when you first write it, it's right in the middle of the screen. I didn't know you could move it. Once you post, you can't make changes.
Oh.
So my first video, I was totally mortified. Today, very proud. It says, Duet Me,
Right in the middle of it.
across my face.
The only way you can learn is by doing.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so there it is. So I set up a TikTok account, had some familiarity
Yeah.
with it, and did the interview the next day
Yep.
and decided, well, I've got all this free time and now I'm on TikTok. So I launched an educational campaign to teach the new generation what real shanties sound like.
Yes.
And that the Wellerman is not a sea shanty. And I posted the song. I posted the lyric sheet with the music on TikTok. I posted over 600 videos.
Well, I know for us we did all of our morning meetings during COVID.
Yep.
Remotely. But we often would share a video of one of your songs. Like, I think that's where I fell in love with Row On.
Oh yeah.
Was your video of that was posted, which I think was on YouTube, not on TikTok.
Yeah, that's on YouTube because that was part of the concert. Yeah.
is beautiful. And I think I kept sharing those. It gave everyone such a feeling of like hope and peace during such a dark time.
I remember you sent me an email.
I think I told
Actually,
you.
no, you did, but somebody beat you to
I
it.
told you ahead of time.
Muffy
Oh, yes. Muffy White.
across the street from us.
Yes.
Our
There's
beloved
something
Nate.
about the water there. I don't think we can have bigger Gus supporters than we do in that small area of Gloucester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when her kids were here, she told me right away, "You'll never guess what we heard today." I mean, I think she stayed for morning meeting. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she was the first one who told me, and then you told me, and I actually got a little teary-eyed. It meant a lot
so
to me.
special, and it's just like kind of what you do for our community. You've kind of always been there for us, so we appreciate that. But tell us a little bit about how you ended up here as a parent, because we realized Linnea now graduated in 2011.
2011,
that was my first. She was my first 8th grade class, as I do the math in my head.
But you were already here.
No,
that was your
first
first
year.
year.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Which makes sense because that's when I lived in Gloucester.
Right.
But yeah, so it feels like
You were
I've
right
known
down
you
the
so
hill.
much longer than that. But lucky to have you guys involved in my entire career here at Gus.
You drove her to school on the day her 8th grade shirt project was due because
Yes.
she did it on this huge piece of plywood that would not fit in any of our cars.
No, it was
And
pretty big.
you had a wide body
Had to
Jeep or
put the back
something.
seat down to fit it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it went in at
it
an
might have.
angle.
Yeah. So
And
fun.
and I think you also
I
drove
think I
it
did.
home.
Yeah. I don't even know if Linnea was in the car when I drove it home.
Uh,
I might have had to drive it home at a different time, but
I'm
fun.
not sure.
So no.
But we still have it.
Yeah.
Just so
Oh,
you
good.
know,
A
we
lot of
still
parents
have
still
that.
have those pieces.
And all the little pieces that went with it.
Yep.
They're sort of in various places around
All
the
the
house.
the Gus art.
Yeah.
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 Tell me a little bit about why you chose Gus.
Well, we
first
chose Gus. Well, being in East Gloucester, the public school was right down the street.
Yeah.
East Gloucester Elementary, which is no more.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It's gone now. They've combined it with the with veterans.
That's okay. Yeah.
But it just felt like she's not a public school kid. Not every
It's a school
kid
for everybody.
is. Yeah, exactly. And I just felt like East Gloucester School wasn't going to be it. Great school. Her older brother went there.
Yep.
Worked great for him. Made lots of friends. But I just felt like that school is going to eat her up. She's slight. She dances. She's artistic. And, she's not into the athletics and the sports and all that stuff. It's not the right culture. She needs something a little bit more nurturing, a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more free thinking, a little bit more, a little out of the box, so to speak. And I live outside the box. That's my whole world is outside the box. I don't do anything in the box, so to speak. And I had been here before. I knew people who went here. I knew parents of kids who went here. I knew kids who went here. And I performed in the lobby. This building, the upper school, wasn't here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was familiar with the school. And I said, well, we got to go look at it.
Yeah.
And it's not that far. And I will do the morning drive. I will commit to that. And so we came down. She did her day with, in kindergarten, observing. And we were given the tour, which I already pretty much knew. And then we applied, and Leslie Marchessault,
Very
wonderful
connected.
she didn't take her. I said, "What? What? How did that happen?" And we sat down. She actually, I think I came in and spoke with her, and she was great. She said, she'd be the youngest by 4 months, and at that age, 4 months is a lot, and very convincing. I mean, who's going to know better? So she repeated, pre-K or whatever that was in East Gloucester, which was great. And then we came back, did the whole thing again. And I met another parent that I had known for years. We used to sing together in Boston, Betsy Hopkins. And she was here with her son, Henry, the same grade. And they became really good friends, which was really fun. Yeah. And she got in that year, and then you couldn't get rid of her.
Yeah, I love that.
Right through
As
it.
someone who's very connected to the arts in their own life and definitely wanting that for their child, how did you see that play out over Linnea's time at Gus?
I think she had all the outlets here. She didn't have much of the dance, but you can't get everything from one place.
Yeah.
And she was, she danced outside of school her whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, she went to Beverly High School and then got on a train 4 days a week and went to Boston to dance.
Yeah.
So, no way was anybody keeping up with that in any one place.
Yeah.
But the music, the academics were great. She had great math support from Mrs. Bet Brackett.
Yes.
She had the bet for math.
Yep.
And so, math was not her thing, nor was it any of ours. But she had the support, and she got that here, which is what this school has to offer, that special attention where it's needed. It's not like she wasn't a smart kid, but math just, it wasn't exciting. Well, but that made it relevant. And that makes it, a much more palatable.
Yes.
If you can connect it to something.
Yes.
This is why you need to know math. Not, you're going to learn this because it's what we do.
Right.
So, and that's not the approach.
Oh, it's definitely especially for a child you describe as a free spirit.
Yeah.
That this is a good place for them we don't crush their spirits.
No,
we definitely try to grow it and
yes,
kind of maybe corral it towards the most useful purpose.
Yeah.
But never to change them.
No. And the whole arts program, you had pottery, you had art, you had painting, it's just, it's all there. And she had to play sports. Which was
especially for a child who might not choose those things, feels like Gus is a safe place for them to. So what is it that keeps you coming back every year? What is it about Gus?
Well, you keep hiring me to come back do my school program, so there's certainly that.
There seems to
but,
be an affection there that's deeper than that.
Well, yeah, I've got history here.
Yeah.
My kid went here,
Mhm.
and I get to see all the kids coming up through the grades that she went through, and I get to sort of see, I remember Linnea when she was doing
Yeah.
this or when she was doing that. So it's sort of a keeping tabs on the past or keeping in touch with that. I get to
I
see
was going to
you,
say,
head of
you've
school.
seen me grow into
I
my
have.
role here.
I have. You were 8th grade teacher, then you were head of
Well,
upper
it's like,
school.
Yep.
And then when it was time for you to be head,
Yep.
I remember really plumping for you because I thought this is a match.
Mhm.
And if they don't get it, they're missing the boat
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
I mean, never has there been such a good match.
Well, I appreciate that.
You know?
I like to think so. I mean, it's definitely a labor of love for me. I
Yeah.
feel great.
A lot of labor and a lot of
lucky I
love.
am and
Absolutely.
to connect with families like yours and to stay connected
Well,
through all these years. That's one of the best parts of my job. And to see Linnea grow up and
yeah.
now an adult woman in the
Yes.
world.
I just put her on a plane yesterday
Yeah.
back to Monterey.
Great.
She's still here,
Yeah.
and she still has really close friends from
I
here.
hear that all the time is
Yeah.
that the friendships here are
They
just really
last.
cemented. Yeah.
They last.
That's really in the end. Like, what else could you want for as a
Yeah.
parent? Yeah.
No, it's great. It's great. So I feel like this was a really good call was to get her in here, and the school was very, very helpful in that process. And then, we lucked out with school choice.
Yeah.
And she got into Beverly High School because a Gus parent who lives in Beverly
Yeah.
really pushed us to look at the high school because
Yeah.
they said it's a brand new building,
Yeah. Yeah.
brand new curriculum. She was the first graduating class
Oh,
of
in the new
that
building.
building. So
Yeah.
she got all the way through in the new building. Everyone had a laptop. It was a green building, and it was extraordinary.
Yeah.
And she got in at the last possible second. I think there were 100 slots,
Mhm.
and she was 99th. It was amazing. And they called us.
Yeah.
She was going off to dance camp.
Yeah.
In 2 days. And I said, but got to get her into the building. She's
Yep.
got to be able to see the building
Yep.
and walk the space.
Yeah.
Or she's not going to know what to think about.
Yeah.
And I called someone who's very well connected in Beverly, and I said, what do we do?
Yeah.
And she said, well, the assistant principal is my neighbor. So put me in touch with them. He
Yep.
met us at the school the next morning.
Yeah.
And just the three of us
You're
walked
like,
around.
This is it.
And so she at least knew what she was.
Yeah. I feel like that's the nice thing about Gus is like wherever the child goes after here, they're ready.
Yeah.
They're prepared.
Oh, yeah.
They've got everything they need.
Yeah.
Whether it's private, public, school choice. I think a lot of our families have chosen that option.
Yeah. Well, when you've
just
got a
great.
high school like that, that was
Yeah.
good.
And so many of our families come from Beverly. You're usually not alone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she had a lot of friends there. And the friends, of course, having gone to school in Beverly, some through the public school system,
Yep.
now going there,
Okay.
big cohort. So huge cohort of
We're very
friends
proud
there.
of her.
Well,
And
getting
very, very grateful for your continued support and participation in our
I love
program.
it. I love the school. I believe in it.
But you keep coming back, though.
I will.
Well,
I
thanks
promise.
for spending the time with us.
You're so welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for listening to the Gus Podcast, Curious by Nature. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and let us know what you want to hear about next. If you're interested in learning more about Gus, please visit gus.org. We're grateful to have you with us, and until next time, stay curious.